There was a point, I'll tell you, where I had to choose between joining a design firm and going for a company like Asian.
What changes will you make sure that will be implemented in your organization so that you don't become what is happening right now?
Good question.
What was your first project? How did you acquire that first project? Okay, so we just finished a 2-hour long podcast. With 6:30 in the morning. Very insightful podcast with Siddharth, who is the co-founder of Buildwi, an interior designing firm based out in Andheri, Mumbai. अभी तक बातें खत्म नहीं हुई है, but we will call him again though for part 2. And I hope you enjoy this podcast moving forward. We have talked about how to start an interior designing firm, how to get forward with the funding part, how to raise funds, how to get into this industry as a whole, directly start करना चाहिए, freelancing करना चाहिए, बहुत सारी बातें की है. I hope you enjoy this podcast though. Welcome everybody. Welcome Siddharth. Welcome to Focus Podcast. It is our attempt of showcasing new entrepreneurs in front of the screen to newer generation. So you are from some certain background and hence you're over here. The focus is towards JBIMS students because we have an array of students which are from diverse backgrounds and we want to also get to know these people and help others so that they can start with some other streams as well. So welcome to Focus Podcast again. Could you just introduce yourself to everybody?
Okay, so I am an architect.
Okay.
I have passed out from Thakur School of Architecture and Planning, Kandivali.
Mm-hmm.
So post architecture, I did the regular, the job that we all aim for. So I did that for around a year. After which I got an opportunity to work with Asian Paints in the interior segment, in the home interior segment. So in that, I learned a lot about sales.
Okay.
So in my first job, I got to learn about designing, and in my Asian Paints stint, I got to learn about sales. So post which, after working with Asian Paints for some time, I got into starting up on my own. So I run this company called Buildwi, which is an interior design solution we are servicing across Mumbai. So basically, it is the marriage between design and sales, which I got to learn in my two, the jobs that I did.
Okay.
So currently I am doing Buildwi.
Okay. What is Buildwi? What do you mean by Buildwi? What exactly is it?
The way I define Buildwi is that it is a residential and commercial interior design solution.
Okay.
Which gives great design, professional service at a reasonable cost. So this is how I define simply what my business is.
Okay. And you have co-founded it with somebody or you're alone?
I have a partner with me.
Okay.
So he's also an interior designer and
Okay.
I'm an architect myself.
Okay.
So we are running this together.
Okay. What is the difference between interior designer and an architect? Could you just explain that? Because I always tend to be confused about these two streams. It seems this one and the same thing, but it is not one and the same thing. So could you just...
Architecture, basically the course is different. Architecture is a 5-year course.
Okay.
And interior design is a 3-year course. That is just the basic difference. Education wise, architect has basically knowledge of the entire building.
Okay.
So the structural members, the beams, columns, slabs. So architect has knowledge about everything, even the surroundings. So it is a more broader sort of a study. And interior designing is just the internal thing, like what goes inside a house or inside a space. So that is interior designing. So basic, that is the that is the difference.
So you take care of the exterior of the house because you're an architect, right? So you take care of the exterior of the house or you take care of the...
At Buildwi, we are into our core is into interiors.
Okay.
So basically an architect, when you do architecture, your horizon is like, you can do a lot of things. It is not that you have to do only the exterior building. There are a lot of streams open after you do architecture. So you can do interiors, you can do urban planning, you can do town planning, you can get into construction. So that is what an architect brings to the table. But for me, my core is into interiors.
Okay, got it. So what is that one USP that you can define for Buildwi? because there are many interior agencies or firms that which are there nowadays. So what is that one USP that you can just drive, which drives Buildwi?
There are, as you said, there are many companies which are servicing. There are many products, many services. I mean, lot of competition. But how we differentiate ourselves is about customer experience.
Okay.
So in my field, in my area, lot of designs are available nowadays online. Okay, clients themselves, customers, they themselves can look up Pinterest. They can, search for designs. And a lot of players are there for giving the service as well. But for them, the most important thing is that it has to be hassle-free. So how we differentiate ourselves is that we give a good customer experience.
Okay.
So basically, but also we don't promise that it's going to be seamless because it is at the end of the day, it is an interiors business. So basically, a lot of emotions are involved because someone is making their home after a long time. There are many stakeholders in any given project. For example, there is an electrician, there is a furniture person, there is a POP person, and civil person.
The vendors which are there.
The vendors which are there. There are multiple teams in any given project. So basically, our job is to orchestrate all of them and make them work in coordination. That is where we come into play. So basically, the experience that we give our customers, that is the most important. Pricing is one thing. See, we cannot win on pricing because it is very competitive nowadays.
Anybody can undercut anybody.
Anybody can undercut anybody. In any customer that we pitch, the customer already has 10 quotes with him or her. I mean, so you cannot undercut and you cannot play on pricing in today's scenario. You cannot play on your designs as well because multiple designs are available. So the only thing that you can do is give a good customer experience.
So tell me one thing, good customer experience, a very bold statement. What exactly do you mean by that as well? Is it only like you're there with them from the start to end? Is that what you mean by customer experience? Or what exactly is your definition of customer experience?
Okay. So customer experience means understanding the requirement or the pain point of the customer. Understanding the requirement in detail is very important. And to empathize with the customer, that is very important. So what I believe is that empathy plays a crucial role in any given scenario, any project. Because see, in interiors, it is someone is either making their first home, okay, or someone has gathered the funds for several years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and then they are renovating their house. So it is the space in which they are going to live in. So it is, there are a lot of emotions involved. There are multiple family members also there who give the decision. So you have to create a balance between all. There is one decision maker, one person who decides the design, one person who takes care of the finances. So you have to keep multiple people happy. So that is what I mean by customer experience. You empathize with them, understand their needs, make them feel heard. That is very important. Like, you cannot just keep on talking. You cannot just keep on talking, keep bolna hai. You have to hear them. You have to make them feel that there is someone to listen to you.
Okay. You usually deal with the males in this industry or the females, because there is a very taboo thing in this industry. Maybe females are not being heard about it, and they are not this thing that you mentioned, make them feel heard. It's a very inspired thing that we want everybody to be heard. But females usually feel that मैं कुछ बोलती हूँ तो वो मेरा बात तो नहीं सुनेगा, ये vendor तो मेरा बात नहीं सुनेगा. Is this what you mean by make them feel heard, or do you mean to say like I have a certain design requirement? Now I want this to be only happen and not what exactly you are making. This is what your definition of make them feel heard is.
About the taboo, I'll address the taboo first. I feel it is changing now.
Okay.
We deal with mostly women of the house because they are the ones who come in the forefront and they actually deal with us.
Why do you think so this is the case?
Because maybe I think, because they are the homemakers. I mean, whatever they do, even if they are going for a job or if they are, they are the decision makers.
Correct. They are the boss. They are the ultimate boss.
They are the ultimate boss.
Correct.
किसी की चलती है नहीं.
Correct.
ठीक है. That's a universal truth.
Correct.
And times have changed, and we are really happy about it.
Correct.
That we really encounter customers. Who in which the they really keep their wife ahead of them, and whatever it is, you have to deal with her. She is the ultimate decision maker. We are really happy about it.
So is it easier to deal with a female, or is it difficult to deal with a female?
When has it been easier to deal with females?
Nice statement. Okay.
No, it is equally. I mean, they are a team only anyway, both the husband and wife. But the women usually take the call in terms of designs more, and about the finances. Sometimes the partner gets involved. I mean, the male partner gets involved. But
So do you think females are the more creative human beings amongst the two? That is the reason they are more involved in this such creative stuff.
Yes. That element is there because men can't really imagine things.
ये green है, ये bottle green है, ये emerald green है, ये समझ ही नहीं आएगा.
समझ नहीं आएगा. For them, green is just green, one color.
Correct.
So correct. So basically, they are less. They cannot imagine things. They cannot think about things. So they just get involved in they just trust their partners. And,
Do you have a female co-founder? No.
My co-founder is a male only.
Okay.
But we've got female employees in the team.
Okay. So does it add value to your team? Any value?
Yeah, definitely. Mostly the designers who we've hired are females. So there's no differentiation as such.
Okay.
But maybe it happened in that way.
Unknowingly.
Yeah. There's no bias as such.
Correct. Coming to Pinterest, like you said that nowadays everybody gives references from Pinterest. This is ये घर मेरा होना चाहिए, ऐसा कुछ होना चाहिए. Do you think this has led to replacing interior designers with contractors?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because many people try that and then they come to us कि हमने start किया था बट हमसे हुआ नहीं. हमने वो थोड़े फोटोज देख लिए थे और हमने कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को बुला लिया था. ये नहीं हो रहा है तो प्लीज आप कर लो. बिकॉज देयर आर सो मेनी टेक्निकलिटीज इन्वॉल्वड. जस्ट बाय लुकिंग एट एन इमेज यू कैन नॉट मेक अ space.
So what is the difference between a contractor and an interior designer?
So contractor is basically he's a laborer who has turned into a owner of a business.
Okay.
So all of them, they start from being a laborer, and then when they have enough head on their shoulder, they start their own. They gather a few people and then they become a contractor.
Okay.
So they have a lot of knowledge. I mean,
experience.
Lot of experience. Because the contractors who we work with, they are like in their 40s, mid 40s, 50s. So they've got years of experience. But the only thing that they lack is the aesthetic sense.
Okay.
The kind of background that we come from, the education that we get. Because the clients who we deal with are all in mid 30s or maybe, and they are all professionals. So they also want to deal with someone who's professional. So that is where an interior designer comes into play, where interior designer is a professional who will make your home using the general contractor.
Okay, got it. I want to address the age part that you mentioned. Is you might be in your I don't know, late 30s, I would say. Guess नहीं करूँ. चल 26 का है यार.
Late 20s we can say.
Much better. Much better.
Finally I'm realizing it today, but thanks for reminding me. Yeah, late 20s.
Late 20s, यार बुढ़े हो गए.
Seriously.
Okay, so let's say you are in your late 20s and your contractors might be, I don't know, 40? 30, 40?
45.
ऐसे. So is there an age barrier? कभी command देने में problem होता है. You need to explain them. You have to lead them, right? You're like a leader to them.
Yeah.
So is it difficult for you to make them understand due to the age factor?
Not at all. See, age is just a number. I think we have to accept that as we are growing older.
अभी वही है option.
वही बोलना पड़ेगा. Age is just a number. It is all about how you carry yourself and what kind of knowledge you have and how much you know about your subject. Okay. Contractor basically he knows that he is going to get business from you. Once he knows that he is going to get more sites from you, he is going to respect you, and you have to respect him back. It is like he also knows sometimes that you don't know certain things and he helps out. But in front of a customer or even when we are chatting personally, he will not try to come and command over you if you have that kind of a personality and bond with him, because he knows कि आपको सब पता है. हो सकता है experience के हिसाब से he knows little more, but then he knows that I am the master of my business, so basically I am going to give him more business. तो वो there is no problem like that. I have never faced anything as such right from the time that I was starting, because that mentality also is there in them that okay, he's an educated guy, so he will get a more a stand in the entire business. So it's like that.
So is it just about the money factor that is holding up this bond, or is it also to learn? Maybe have you seen some contractors turning into an interior designer or some educated designer, something like this?
It is about money also, and it is about the fact that basically we are more learned than them, and we can speak in a certain way which they can't. So they also look up to us. We also look up to them. I have seen few contractors who have started from being a labor, and then they are doing tremendously well for themselves. I mean, they are doing as good or maybe even better than a.
How much would these contractors be earning approximately? Do you?
To give a number, it depends. I mean,
I know it will depend, but then there might be some, let's say, a price range or something that these contractor might be earning around this much. I'm sure you might have gone through these numbers.
Yeah. So maybe in between 10 to 20 lakhs.
10 to 20 lakhs
per annum.
Per annum?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Because they are doing multiple sites.
Okay.
And there is, I mean.
And this is the profit that you're talking about, or this is the.
No, this is the profit that I'm talking about.
Okay.
Because they have been working since 10-20 years.
Okay.
So basically, at the age of maybe 45 or 50, I think this number you have to achieve, because
correct,
you are running a family.
Correct.
You've got kids and everything. So after this, I'm talking about when they are 20 years in the business. So I think it's a fair earning.
Correct. Thinking about the pricing part, you said that anybody can undercut anybody. Correct. Now, but still, you have to be competitive. Correct. So how are you achieving that competitiveness in the market?
Okay, so there are two types of projects. One is a design and management project. I'm just talking about a little bit about the pricing in my field since you asked. So designing and management project is where the customer is giving a fee for your service, and the customer has his or her own set of contractors.
Okay.
So you are just going in and running the entire show, managing the entire show.
But isn't it difficult to manage this kind of a thing, because the vendors are there, so you don't know how these people are, how exactly will they even listen to you? अरे साहब ये ऐसा नहीं ऐसा ही बनेगा. This might be the most hard thing in your field, I think.
Correct.
So
no, the customer. I mean, here the terms are very clear with the customer that we will not be responsible for the quality. We will be guiding them, but the quality and timelines we cannot guarantee, because what if he does not have labor or workforce, or his men मतलब गाँव चले गए or whatever.
ये बहुत common होता है.
Common. So वही है कि we don't guarantee that, but our guidance will be in the designing, and we will be guiding the entire project. So that is how it is.
Okay.
So one is that, and second is the turnkey project.
Okay.
Where we take care of each and every item. So there's a line item wise pricing for each and everything.
Okay.
So these are the two kinds of pricing का जो main जो होता है. Mostly people are doing turnkey only.
Okay.
Where they take care of the entire project, and the customer has to pay amount for the entire project.
Correct.
ठीक है. So pricing wise, what we do is we give our best price to the customer at once. ठीक है. We keep very less scope for negotiation, because we want it in such a way that we should not be losing the project because of price. We have given our best to the customer. ये आपका last price है sir. Take it or leave it. So that is what we follow, because we don't want to be in that guilt कि अरे कुछ थोड़ा और कम कर दिया होता तो शायद मिल जाता. अगर हमने बेस्ट प्राइस दे दिया है, नहीं मिला, ठीक है, इसके आगे हम इसके नीचे हम कर भी नहीं सकते. We keep our whatever the general margin and everything to be internal that we keep, which is good for running our company, and we give it. But we follow a system where we give a very reasonable pricing, because we know that what competition is offering. Because of our experience, we know which company is offering what price. So we know the rates in general. So that is what you have to learn as you enter the field. मतलब जैसे आप enter करते हो, so you have to get that sense also of the market, right? कि market में चल क्या रहा है, without which you cannot do anything. So you need to know कि अच्छा इसको यहाँ से कोड आया है, मतलब बातों में when you speak to the customer वो बोलते हैं कि मुझे lift space से कोड आया है या यहाँ से आया है. So we know कि okay lift space का higher ही होगा, हमारा थोड़ा competitive रहेगा. So these are the ways in which we play. Of course, I can't reveal the
correct
entire thing, but these are the places.
So there are no specific packages as such.
It is very difficult to create a package in this because the package can be created only for initial discussions. But as you get into the specifics, so बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, जैसे सोफा है, डाइनिंग टेबल है, डाइनिंग चेयर है. अभी कस्टमर बोले मुझे चेयर नहीं चाहिए, तो पूरा पैकेज आपका चेंज हो जाएगा. मतलब सो इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू मेक अ पैकेज एज सच. इट कैन बी ओनली मेड फॉर इनिशियल डिस्कशन कि हाँ 1 BHK इतने में होगा, उसमें ये चीजें होंगी. देन देयर विल बी अ डिस्कशन कि ओके ये नहीं चाहिए, हटा दो, अब कितना होगा. तो वो पैकेज वाला गेम थोड़ा इसमें नहीं बन पाता है.
Are there any demarts of interior designing who undercut everybody? मतलब पूरा कंपटीशन ही खत्म कर देंगे, वो ऐसे कोई है?
एक है बिल्डवी करके नाम है उसका.
अच्छा, बिल्डवी करके नाम है. Okay. And what about live space and Asian Paints, Beautiful Homes, or this reliances of your interior designing?
So basically, these are all funded players. Asian Paints is not funded; it is a
bootstrap
legacy company, so they don't need any funding. Live Space, Design Cafe, Home Lane, these are all funded players. Now the scene is it has started getting evolved. For interior designing.
If these are the funded players, so don't you think that these people can undercut you very easily?
They can't because their operating costs are so high.
Okay, correct.
They've got heavy investment in terms of infra, experience centers, in terms of number of employees. So they've got a lot of investment, so they cannot undercut. But the thing is that what they are missing out, I feel, is that they are missing out on the execution. The entire operation. So this entire interior design has two parts. One is the design where the customer is seeing the output कि ये बनने कैसे वाला है. That is the sweet part. ठीक है कि okay ऐसा दिखेगा, wow and all that. But it all starts going south when the actual execution starts. Because that is when the real thing is happening. So the entire focus of these companies, companies like Live Space, is that they just want sales to show their investors. I think so. We have done this much of sales. But then जो next है, जो main part है, which is the execution, operations. That is what is missed out. Because उसमें ज़्यादा focus नहीं होता. उसमें चल ठीक है convert कर दिया, अभी 100 convert कर दिया, उसमें से 50 अगर कुछ problem भी हो जाए, 50 हम कर देंगे, कैसे भी करके खत्म कर देंगे. So that is the approach which these
but they can always hire a bigger team and streamline their execution as well, right?
They have big team, but it is a very dynamic sort of an industry. जिसमें ना changes जो होते हैं ना, you cannot corporatize this entire thing. Because let me put it this way. For example, if you are a customer and you have an issue, ठीक है, so you will call the designer. Designer will say, I have done my design. Now the operations person will have to, you call him. Then you will call him. ठीक है, he'll say, ठीक है मैं आता हूँ. Now he is a toothless tiger because उसके पास ज़्यादा authority नहीं है. It's a company. वो बोलेगा मैं अपने मैनेजर को बुलाता हूँ. मैनेजर बोलेगा मैं अपने रीजनल मैनेजर को बुलाता हूँ. फिर एक मीटिंग बैठेगी, ब्यूरोक्रेसी होगा, पूरा एक बैठक होगी कि अच्छा क्या होगा ये वो. इतने में 4-5 दिन 6 दिन निकल जाते हैं ये सब करने में, और साइट ऐसे का ऐसे ही पड़ा है. So these things cannot happen in this field because ये एक attempt है to make designer को अलग कर दिया, operations का टीम मेरा अलग हो गया, फिर sales का टीम अलग हो गया. ये एक attempt है, but इसको achieve करना बहुत difficult है. मतलब without focusing on the core कि actually value system को कोई follow नहीं करना है कि you are elevating someone's space. That is what they are missing out on. बात हो रही है सिर्फ sales की कि मेरा इतना बिका. बट जो वैल्यू हम क्रिएट कर रहे हैं किसी के लाइफ में, उसको वो मिस आउट हो रहा है. दैट इज व्हाट आई फील.
हाउ बिग इज योर टीम?
वी हैव गॉट 7 members, and apart from that we've got a separate team for marketing who takes care of our Instagram and posts and lead generation.
Okay. So let's say you want to also become the live space of your field sometime. So what will be your change or your change in approach when you try to become something like them? You will be also having a bigger team, then you will be also having SOPs, you will be also having a hierarchy, you will be also having a bureaucracy and corporacy. So what changes will you make sure that will be implemented in your organization so that you don't become what is happening right now?
Okay, good one, good question. So as I said, focus more on the value system. जितना उस पे focus हो सकता है उतना we will try to do it. Focusing on the operations bit, because that is as important as converting the customer. Because एक बार customer has paid and has become your customer, but उसके बाद कितना उसको तुम value दे सकते हो. That is what we are trying to build in our team also. That system. So that is how we will try to differentiate from live space. We'll attempt. I mean, that is what we will be following.
Because you won't be a smaller team, right? You won't be a smaller team always.
Correct.
You will be growing.
Correct.
You are a startup. So let's say एक साल के बाद मैं सिद्धार्थ को कॉल कर रहा हूँ, सिद्धार्थ भाई यार कितने चल रहे हैं अभी इंटीरियर डिजाइनर्स कितने आपके पास? So अभी 7 नहीं है, सिद्धार्थ के पास हो गए let's say 20. 20 में जो challenges आएंगे वो 7 में नहीं दिखेंगे आपको.
Correct.
So how will you tackle these challenges? Just by value system, or is there anything else that you will try to implement in this thing?
The answer is to develop a very strong core system.
Okay.
तो वो core system and वो culture जो है उसको अगर आप starting से ही develop करोगे, and you have to hire the right team. It is a combination of lot of things. As you know, you are also running your own startup. So you know that it is a combination of so many things, like your team, the value that you put, the kind of experience that you give to your customers. Day to day में जो activities होती है, उसमें एक core system बनाना बहुत important है. एक जो I'm again and again repeating system. So उसमें बहुत सारी चीजें, value system, team system. तो वो अगर develop होगा, so then you can basically scale and replicate your business.
So let me put in this way. Let's say same scenario that you gave कि कुछ problem हुआ. Now you are a team of let's say 20-50. ठीक है, आप बड़ा टीम बन गए हो. You are a funded company now, and there is a similar problem which you defined right now for LiveSpace. In that scenario, what changes will you take?
So see, change-wise, there is not much change that you can do because that is how a company runs. ठीक है, but hiring the correct people, because treating your business as your own, I'm sure at that time it will not be us. Currently, it is us who get the call from the customer when there is an issue. It is us who's getting the call. So it is our own business, so we take it up very seriously.
Correct.
That is the most important मतलब challenge जो है
वो है.
But जब हम side में हो जाएंगे, when we will be a top management, there will be a proper hierarchy. That is when the problem comes in, because now there are people who is an employee, and that employees maybe will take it so seriously, maybe not. But it all depends. I mean, there are very big companies who still have that kind of a system in which, so it is a mix of correct hiring, correct system making. So it is that kind of a.
So in this field, will there always be a Buildwi, which is a small scale interior designing agency? या फिर you will see more of live spaces and Asian paints in this?
No, surely we'll be seeing more of. I mean, our entire model is all our learnings from live space. So basically, there are many less players who are doing it in this way, in a proper sales, marketing, and this kind of a situation. Like we are one of them. There are very few who are doing this. Rest people are taking it up like a design company.
Okay. What do you mean by design company only? So there is no execution in that thing?
No. There is execution, but they are running it like a regular business, like where they will get references from word of mouth. They will do lesser number of projects, but nice projects. So more design oriented, you can say.
So is word of mouth the only marketing stream or the best marketing stream that you can say, or is there also, let's say Google Ads or let's say Meta advertisement? That is one of the channel that is very important in getting new clients.
Word of mouth is best because, so as I said, it is all linked. Customer experience, which I said in the start, ठीक है, कस्टमर को अगर आप अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस दोगे, वो 10 जन को बताएगा जाके इसका सर्विस ले लो, उसमें से आपको नया प्रोजेक्ट मिल जाएगा, आपका मार्केटिंग कॉस्ट कम हो जाएगा. करेक्ट, बिकॉज यू डोंट नीड मार्केटिंग ओनली इफ यू आर डूइंग गुड वर्क. करेक्ट. सो सब कुछ लिंक्ड है, मतलब इसमें अगर आप अच्छा सर्विस दोगे आपको अच्छे लीड्स मिलेंगे डायरेक्टली विदाउट एनी मार्केटिंग, तो गूगल एड्स पे आपका स्पेंड कम हो जाएगा। अगर आपका सर्विस थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे है, कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, सो देन ऑफ कोर्स वी हैव टू go to Google Ads. So this is what these companies are doing. There are so many people in India. I'm talking about LiveSpace and all these companies. That lead generation and then the kind of branding that they're doing. They're getting Virat Kohli and Anushka Sharma as the brand ambassadors. So it is like a proper company that they're running. So वो है, but word of mouth is the best. I believe that अगर आप अच्छा सर्विस दोगे तो आपको जरूरत नहीं है ये मार्केटिंग और ये सारी चीजें करने की. But we are running it in both ways. We want to do good work also, since we are a growing company. We want to do get good references also. So ours is a mix of reference and the digital marketing.
Okay, fair enough. You are the Virat Kohli and Anushka Sharma for your company,
for my brand, yeah.
For your brand. So you're the promoter of your brand.
Correct.
If you go on let's say a first client meeting, what is that one thing that makes you sell your product or your service? What like let's say I'm your first client and we have a meeting and I'll tell you, I give you a brief कि अच्छा मुझे ये ऐसा बनाना है, वैसा बनाना है, ऐसा बनाना है, सब कुछ बनाना है, पर मेरा बजट 1 लाख रुपए है. You might have experienced this kind of things. So तो ऐसे में what exactly do you see? These people have money. It's not that people don't have money, but they are reluctant to spend money, or maybe back of the mind सबके दिमाग में होता है कि यार मैं ये चीज, मुझे वो वाला बंदा इतने में बोल रहा है, 2 लाख में बोल रहा है, इसको मैं 1 लाख बोल के देखता हूँ, फिर मैं आगे चाहिए तो थोड़ा थोड़ा बढ़ा के मैं 1.5 तक लेके आ जाऊंगा उसको, मतलब मेरा पैसा उतना बचेगा. This is the, correct me if I'm wrong.
You are talking like मतलब I'm seeing my customer in you, because everyone thinks in that way only कि जब कम से कम मेरा खर्चा और मुझे बेस्ट चीज मिले. मतलब
करेक्ट.
Our Indian consumer is price sensitive.
Correct.
As we all know.
Correct.
कम से कम खर्चे में बेस्ट चीज चाहिए.
Correct.
Best service चाहिए.
Correct.
So you are correct about it.
So how will you convert this kind of a customer? See, I have, let's say, around 10 lakh rupees in my bank account. I wouldn't say willing to spend that 10 lakh rupees, but then I can spend that and I'll get a very good output out of it. I know that kind of a thing. But then, like an Indian customer, or maybe not like an Indian customer, like a middle class, lower middle class Indian customer, or maybe higher middle class Indian customer, कोई भी customer,
Indian customer.
मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि ये 10 लाख की चीज अगर मैं 2 लाख में करवा रहा हूँ या 5 लाख में करवा रहा हूँ, भले थोड़ा सा क्वालिटी ऊपर नीचे होगा, बट वो आउटपुट वैसे ही दिखने वाला है, भले हाथ लगाने से मुझे अलग लगेगा.
Correct.
So how will you convert this kind of a customer? What exactly how do you convince this customer कि सर ये 10 लाख का जो आप चीज करोगे वो अलग है और ये अलग है? How will you tell him?
Let me tell you, this is our target audience, the kind of customer that you just described. No? 10 का 2 में नहीं, but 10 का 8 में.
Okay.
Okay, that kind of a scenario where they know कि ये चीज का cost price इतना है, because nowadays the rates are so open. And everything is very open nowadays, so you cannot really hide your pricing. ठीक है? Everyone knows कि ply कितने का आता है, laminate कितने का आता है, मतलब just giving an example, wardrobe कितने का आता है, they can check online. अरे ये तो ये इतने में मिलता है. So rates are very open nowadays. But कैसा है कि अभी 10 lakhs का अगर कोई काम 10 लाख का है, वो अगर किसी को 8 में कराना, so firstly we say that let's be realistic about it. ठीक है? 10 का 2 में तो आपका नहीं होने वाला है. We don't entertain only, मतलब we are at that stage कि अब हम entertain ही नहीं करेंगे. मतलब earlier we used to really try and go कि नहीं convince करो. अभी नहीं है budget तो ठीक है, you either get it done through your contractor. So basically that is also very important, that you need to know who you need to service also, and there are certain red flags. As we also discussed many times internally, that these are the kind of customers we don't want in our lives. Because अगर वो छोटा मोटा कस्टमर के उसमें हमने ले लिया उसको, and then जितना टाइम उसमें वेस्ट होता है, we are going to waste that time, and we could have serviced better customers. We could have got maybe 1 or 2 better projects. So that is one thing कि we don't take such kind of projects. But हमारा target audience ही है जो 10 लाख का काम शायद 8 में, कोई अगर 10 लाख सपोर्ट दे रहा है तो हम शायद 8.5 तक हम उसको लाके we can close it. So our pricing is very transparent. ठीक है? So each and every item that is going in your house, you will have a cost attached to it. For example, wardrobe का इतना cost है, bed का इतना cost है.
अच्छा, इनवॉइस के अंदर ही लिख के आता है सब कुछ,
लिख के आता है.
इंडिविजुअल
Yes. Items SKUs. So you know कि okay, अगर मैं इसमें से साइड टेबल हटा देता हूँ या फिर मैं मटेरियल चेंज करता हूँ तो प्राइस बढ़ेगा या कम होगा. So it is very transparent like that. तो हम उसी काइंड ऑफ कोड में हम प्ले करते हैं. We don't keep anything hidden for later. कि जानबूझ के मैं 4-5 चीजें ऐड ही ना करूँ उसमें, फिर बाद में शॉक टू कस्टमर कन्वर्ट होने के बाद या काम शुरू होने के बाद. So we don't get into all that. We are very honest about it because we don't want problems later कि ये हो गया काम रोक दो ना, because we don't want to get into that situation only. तो हम पहले ही एकदम ट्रांसपेरेंट ओपन कोड रहता है. इसमें आपको प्लस करनी है आप प्लस करो, पहले आप फाइनलाइज कर लो कि ओके ये करना है, देन हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. देन मे बी आपका डिजाइन हो जाएगा, उसके बाद हम थोड़े चेंजेस कर सकते हैं उसमें. थोड़ा आप स्कोप रखिए कि 5% 10% बढ़ेगा या कम होगा डिपेंडिंग ऑन योर design, whatever you are choosing. When you go out in the market, of course, you want to choose the best. कि चल एक ही बार करा रहा हूँ तो मैं कर लेता हूँ. So it's that way.
Okay. I have a question about the profits part. Now, like you said, कि Livspace and Asian Paints, not Asian Paints, let's say Livspace is a funded company. However, they cannot. You said that the quality of their product and your product is almost the same. But still, you are able to offer a lower price than Livspace. How are you able to achieve this kind of a thing?
As I said, they have
operational
cost है. उनका operational cost higher है. उनका basically जो पूरा setup है.
So they do not have something like design and management वाला part?
They do. They have it more. जैसे कि like in our company, the designer who's handling the project, he or she only takes care of the execution also, because no one will execute it better than the designer. Because अगर मैंने कोई चीज डिजाइन की है तो I want to see it coming to life, correct? So that is where I think they're missing out on. So the person who designs it executes it. That is what we follow. In terms of price, with Livspace and all these players, उनके costs are higher, so hence their costing is higher.
So what is the mix of your team?
As in,
how many designers are there? How many people are there for execution? Or
all are designers only.
Acha, like you said that the designers only go on the field and make it execute.
We also have a telecaller
who
takes care of whatever leads are being generated by the marketing team. There is a calling process that is followed.
Okay.
So उनको calls जाते हैं, the first call, and then whoever is a verified lead and like whoever has a requirement, those filtered leads come to me and my partner. So we take care of the acquisition.
Okay.
Currently.
In the team of 7, how have you? What is the partner's name really? I'm really sorry. I don't know.
Shubham Tiwari.
Shubham Tiwari. So how have you divided your roles between Shubham and you, between Siddharth?
So we have,
who is the CEO of the company?
We have just now established private limited.
Okay.
So that decision is yet to be made between me and him. Currently, it is being run by both of us, so we are both kind of running it. We have complementary skill sets. We both are very good at sales, because that is our core.
Okay.
So, but we handle each other in certain situations. He's little, so we play good cop, bad cop, and so complementary skill sets. So that's how we play. We both look at acquisition only right now.
Acha.
Also operations as well, because so I take care of more of the design part.
Okay.
And dealing with the customer, he takes care of the operations bit.
Okay, like execution part and
execution part he does, because he is good with dealing with vendors and all these kind of stuff. I'm good with dealing with the customers, like the design bit and everything.
So अभी हम लोग चाय पी रहे थे. By the way, हम लोग का भी shoot सुबह 7 बजे हो रहा है. So pretty hectic schedule Siddharth has.
And you also. So we decided it for both of us, right? So that we both are free. And
सुबह के 7 बजे हम लोग शूट कर रही है चीजें.
So yeah, I think I would like to thank the autofocus team.
अरे thank you so much. Humbled.
Team members have come at 6:30 and all. So thank you so much.
So like तभी हम लोग चाय पी रहे थे. You told me that Shubham had his wedding. तो ऐसे टाइम पे कैसे एडजस्ट किया यार? Without Shubham, you were managing the design part as well as the execution part?
I was managing execution as well as designing as well as acquiring new customers also. Sometimes you have to do it. I mean, it's his marriage, once in a lifetime event.
कब हुआ ये?
बस अभी थोड़े ही दिन हुए. मतलब you're talking about the wedding, right?
Yes.
2-3 days back.
So has he gone to his honeymoon or no?
Not now. We'll send him later now. Come back to work.
धंधा पहले आता है.
धंधा पहले आता है, कुछ कर ले. Because I've been struggling. I've been requesting him every day कि please कल join कर ले. But no, he has also he's told me कि जरा एक महीना हम कर लेते, then you go.
How old is he?
He's 28.
Oh, okay.
So he has told me that in next month you go for a trip and all. But एक महीना हम थोड़ा stabilize कर लेते हैं इसको office. Because I have just been doing firefighting since so many days. I have just held the entire fortress. और अभी थोड़ा वो आएगा तो थोड़ा मुझे भी relief मिलेगा कि okay now.
His wife will be very angry on you.
I'm helping.
What is his background, by the way? He's also from the same stream?
He's an interior designer.
Okay.
Where
have you met?
We have met in our junior college.
When was this?
This was in 2012. 2012.
Okay, a decade-old friendship.
More than a decade.
Okay.
And we both had tried to get into medical. We had joined NEET, and I was more this thing that मेरे को medical और engineering दोनों देना.
Wow. So that's rare.
Yeah, so I took PCM B.
अरे बाप रे.
So मैथ्स भी है, बायो भी है, जिसमें लग जाए, and then इन दोनों को छोड़ के I did architecture after my 12th. And he also could not clear. In the first 3 months of our junior college, we all came to know that ये medical हमसे नहीं होने वाला है. ठीक है, तो मैंने 3 months मेडिकल का ट्राई किया, फिर उसको साइड में छोड़ दिया. फिर मैंने इंजीनियरिंग के लिए प्रिपेयर किया. फिर मैंने जेई का एग्जाम दिया. उसमें मुझे 350 में से या 360 में से 35 नंबर आ गए उसमें. ठीक है, सो
बट उसमें कम ही लगते हैं. आई गेस 50 वाज द कट ऑफ फॉर एडवांस, राइट? 50 or 60 was the cut off.
I have no clue.
अच्छा.
I have literally no clue. I just went and gave that exam. I was blank.
Okay.
वो जो क्वेश्चन आए थे ना सामने, मुझे अभी तक वो स्केयर देता है कि वो क्या क्वेश्चन थे. मैंने बस ए बी कुछ तो उसमें डाल के मैं आया.
जय माता दी.
हाँ, जय माता दी मैं करके निकला वहाँ से. बिकॉज वो मुझे लिटरली याद नहीं है कि मैंने क्या किया क्या नहीं किया, बट वो आई न्यू कि मेरा
it was hell of an experience though. The JE and everything was
yeah. I had got into civil engineering also in NMIMS. I had got.
Okay.
But the decision to take architecture was because I was good at technical drawing, which was there as a subject throughout. So that was one thing, and so somehow I got into architecture. I mean, my parents.
So can a civil engineer be an interior designer?
Civil engineer cannot be an interior designer. Civil engineer can get into execution, the operations का जो part है, because he knows the structure and all that. So mostly in the operations civil engineers होते हैं. Design में they are not even interested. उनका forte ही नहीं है. उनका forte है technicals. So वो लोग अच्छे से कर सकते हैं.
If let's say a 20-year-old kid wants to get into this field, what traits he or she must have certifies कि हाँ भाई मैं इंटीरियर में थोड़ा सा अच्छा हूँ या अच्छी हूँ, and I can get into this field and I can excel in this field as well.
See, I divide any business, from what I've learned till now, I divide any business into 4 parts: sales, marketing, operations, and accounts. ठीक है, ये these 4 are the main pillars of any business, I think.
Correct.
But I think there are more, like legal हो गया, HR हो गया, वो सब
major ही है.
हाँ, majorly ये 4 I think fields है.
Correct.
ठीक है, pillars है of any business. कोई भी business आप ले लो. So firstly, I think any person should identify कि मैं किसमें अच्छा हूँ इन चारों में से. Am I good at sales, marketing, या accounts या operations? Because interiors में भी ये चारों है. ठीक है. As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, आपको चारों obviously आने चाहिए. You have to catch your forte. कि okay, I'm good at sales. तो मैं marketing, operations और accounts के लिए hire कर लूँगा. ठीक है. So ये आपका पहले you have to know yourself before starting any business. You need to know कि आपका forte क्या है और क्या आप lack करते हो. अगर आप marketing lack करते हो तो co-founder ऐसा लेके आओ जो marketing better कर सके आपसे. Correct. So that is how you get into it. Interior design, if you want to get into the industry, I would suggest कि आपके education के बाद आप थोड़ा सा कहीं काम कर लो, मतलब job कर लो, समझ लो सीख लो कि ये होता कैसे, because it is a high ticket value business. Somebody is putting 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs, तो joke नहीं है मतलब, because no one will trust a newbie. Correct? It is very difficult to get your first project because somebody is trusting you with lakhs of rupees, and first project usually कोई family होता है या कोई friend होता है जो आपको देता है. So but for someone to get into interiors, I think पहले कहीं job कर लो, 1-2 साल at least सीख लो कि काम कैसे होता है. Work at an architectural firm, work at maybe an interior design firm. काम कर लो, सीख लो, थोड़ा grind, मतलब till you don't go through that grind of going to sites, getting your hands dirty, understanding कि कैसे हो रहा है, till then you cannot start your business, because when you go in front of a customer and if you fumble even a bit when someone has asked you a question, so the business is gone. अगर एक question you are suppose a customer and you are putting in 15-20 lakhs thinking of putting so much money, अगर सामने वाले को उसके सब्जेक्ट का नॉलेज नहीं है तो वो आपको नहीं मिलने वाला. करेक्ट. सो यू नीड टू गो थ्रू द ग्राइंड, काम करो, सीखो पहले कैसे होता है. आई थिंक 2-3 years is a good enough time. Okay. Then it depends from person to person.
Okay. And do you recommend to get into organizations itself like this Live Space or Asian Paints or this companies only to get the experience, or do you recommend to get into a startup and learn everything?
ये startups ही है basically. ये लोग भी Live Space and all.
अच्छा, okay. But these are funded, right? So there is a corporate structure for everything. In startup, I don't think there is a corporate structure. Maybe the designer भी है, you are the executioner as well, you are the accounts team as well.
True.
Vendor management, everything is done by the same person most of the time.
I think what you're meaning to ask is whether to get into companies like Live Space Asian Paints or get into a design-oriented company.
Not design-oriented. Let's say if anybody, a 20-year-old kid is entering this industry now, and he or she wants to get into something. Now, he or she should get into the Asian Paints and Live Space, or he or she should get into Buildwi.
I think my bias would say Buildwi only. But see, it depends on the person. If that person wants to, now when a person is a designer, there are very few designers who I know want to get into sales. Okay, I'm an architect and I was doing sales at Asian Paints. बहुत कम लोग हैं, and even with Buildwi, बहुत कम लोग हैं जिनको ना sales का काम करना है, मतलब ये, because mostly designers are very touchy about these things कि मुझे design करना है. So person has to identify कि what kind of things do I like? Do I like that entire corporate structure, project management? You know, I know a lot of people who have gotten into Live Space or maybe Design Cafe or these kind of companies, and they are doing execution in that as an architect. So वो भी करते हैं लोग, ऐसा नहीं है. Identify करना पड़ेगा अगर आपका interest किस में है.
Okay. But what difference can you find in this two? Apart from एक जगह पे सब कुछ हमारे सर पे आता है और एक जगह या सीखने को भी बहुत कुछ मिलता है, और एक जगह पे इंडिविजुअली करने को मिलता है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस, इज देयर एनी अदर डिफरेंस
in a Live Space and a Buildwi? In Buildwi, yes, you will. I mean, that is the core difference, that you will get to learn everything. In a Live Space, you will only be doing one thing what you are asked to do. Plus, those companies are very sales oriented. मतलब कि it is only and only about numbers.
What do you mean by this?
Basically, as I said before, focus less on execution bit and more on the numbers, because they have to prove to their investors, right? That they have converted these many projects. So, वहाँ पे it is a fully sales driven. All these companies.
Even the designers have to do the sales part?
Everyone has targets.
Okay.
ठीक है.
How will a designer do the sales part?
Designer has to do the sales part in terms of upselling. कि अगर एक प्रोजेक्ट 10 लाख का आया है तो आपको उसको 15 में कैसे ले जाना है.
Okay.
So that is where the designer has a target कि आपने कितना upsell किया है.
Okay.
Plus the designer also has to go for acquisition as well with the sales team.
Oh, is it?
So designer goes for both, even for acquisition.
There are dual roles.
So they do both and targets in that. So काफी target driven और काफी sales driven है. But at a company like Buildwi, at this stage we are only doing the acquisition part. So we don't put that pressure on the designers, because we want to differentiate from Live Space in such a way that okay, numbers तो है, we are also very number driven, but हम designers को pressure नहीं डालेंगे, because we want good designs also to come out. सो हम वो बैलेंस क्रिएट करना चाह रहे हैं कि सेल्स भी अच्छे हो रहे हैं बट कस्टमर एक्सपीरियंस भी अच्छा है और डिजाइन्स भी अच्छे जा रहे हैं. दैट इज द एंटायर फोकस.
Got it. Alright, we'll take a small break.
हो गया चाय नाश्ता.
Okay, I want to start with your first project. Like you said, कि first project is the most difficult thing to gain, right? So, what was your first project? How did you acquire that first project? What assets did you show to them in order to get that first project? And what was your team strength at that time?
Okay, so trip down the memory lane. So first project which I got was याद ही नहीं आ रहा actually. हाँ, okay, याद है. It was in Thane. It was in Thane. I remember. I had got it through OLX.
OLX.
ठीक है.
Okay.
So what happened was OLX पे I was just doing random things. I was putting photos of furniture. We are sellers of furniture and all that. मतलब I was just trying various things. So it was me and Shubham only at that time. This is I think back in 2017 I think so. 2017 में. So basically we have been doing projects since our college only. मतलब जब हम college में थे तब से ही हम projects किए जा रहे हैं. Interior वाले.
College से.
हाँ मतलब we were trying to do something. कुछ ना कुछ furniture में हो जाए. So we had started this company called Dash Designs उस time पे when we were like in college. And we had made card and founder and CEO and all that. तो तब
cool
से हमारा काफी cool लगता है. So basically हम बच्चे थे but हम तब से ही हमारा काफी वो था कि हमको कुछ start करना है. And eventually it happened in 2019-20 में जब हम थोड़ा experience लेके हम निकले थे. But the first customer was on OLX. हमने ना थोड़े dining table के और उसके थोड़े photos डाल दिए थे. एंड उससे किसी ने तो रीच आउट किया था कि आई वांट टू बाय दिस डाइनिंग टेबल फॉर क्या बजट है एंड ऑल. तो इट टर्न्ड आउट कि उन्होंने एक प्रॉपर्टी ली थी थाने में इन अ बिल्डिंग कॉल्ड ट्रॉपिकल लगून. एंड वहाँ पे इट वाज अ 2 BHK प्रॉपर्टी. इट टर्न्ड आउट टू बी अ 2 BHK प्रॉपर्टी. तो वी जस्ट वेंट एंड हमने बहुत ही मतलब रिक्वायरमेंट्स ली. हम भी थोड़े न्यू ही थे इसमें. मतलब हम भी सीख ही रहे थे. बट समहाउ वो क्लिक हो गया. मतलब वो आई डोंट नो कैसे हुआ. हमने कैसे कन्विंस किया. वी ट्राइड आवर लेवल बेस्ट. उनको काम हमने मतलब हमारे फ्रेंड्स के थ्रू ही किसी का हमने काम दिखाया. जो हमने छोटे मोटे कुछ काम किए थे या जो फर्नीचर बनाया था कहीं पे या कुछ काम किया था तो वो हमने बैकग्राउंड दिखा के दे ट्रस्टेड इट. इट वाज अ वेरी स्मॉल प्रोजेक्ट. इट वाज अबाउट 4 lakh इन वैल्यू. जिसमें बेसिकली फर्नीचर ही था. मतलब कि जैसे सोफा हो गया, डाइनिंग टेबल हो गया, बेसिकली यही उनके रिक्वायरमेंट्स थे. बट इवेंचुअली जब हमने वो किया, वो प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट किया, उसी बिल्डिंग में वी गॉट 2-3 more inquiries and projects also. So that's how this entire thing started. So first project was that कि हमने थोड़ा जुगाड़ करके, basically you have to do जुगाड़ ना. मतलब कि पहला your first employee, your first project, your first vendor, everyone you have to sell ना कि मतलब कि भाई हम कर सकते हैं.
They are very close to your heart.
हाँ, yes.
कभी भूल नहीं सकते उसको.
बिल्कुल.
Okay. So this was when
2017-18 की बात है I think so.
And तभी Buildwi था या फिर ये Dash Design था?
Actually it was Dash Designs and वास्तविक Consultants करके हमने कुछ, it was a very ऐसा कुछ नाम था. Dash Designs हमने स्टार्ट किया था. फिर हम वास्तविक Consultants के नाम से भी हमने थोड़ा फिर वो किया.
क्या अलग है दोनों में?
नहीं, these were just names of the same thing which we were trying to evolve.
So why different names?
It was a very kiddish sort of thing. मतलब हम कुछ ट्राई कर रहे थे कि ओके पहले Dash Designs किया, फिर थोड़ा नाम हमको वैसा लगा. It was little naive. मतलब कि हम सिर्फ स्टार्ट कर रहे थे. So then eventually then when we जब हमारा सब कुछ पढ़ाई हो गई and then we started everything, तब हमने फिर build with we took it very seriously. Okay, now we have to run this as a proper.
So पहले से plan था सब कुछ कि you want to start something of your own and with the same co-founders that you are there.
Yes. So we started with this Dash Designs and वास्तविक Consultants का stint. Then we realized कि अभी थोड़ा सीखना भी पड़ेगा. तो हमने थोड़ा बहुत Shubham got into real estate sales and all that. उस bit में वो गया, उसने थोड़ा वहाँ पे सीखा.
Which company?
He has worked with big companies. He has worked with B. Gandhari.
Okay.
Infratech. These are all listed. I mean, Infratech is a listed company.
Yes.
So he has worked over there and वहाँ से भी थोड़े networking हुए है. But उस time पे, I mean, with all that, our interiors were also going on. हम थोड़े projects हम दोनों कर रहे थे.
Okay. So as a sales itself, sales executive
in for him,
Infratech and
yes, he was also in sales, real estate sales, pure.
Okay.
So he was working as a branch manager. He also reached a good level in very less time. And same for me. Even I worked with architectural firm and then Asian Paints, and I was doing pure sales in Asian Paints.
Is there any conflict of interest between you and Shubham, because you belong to the same category of sales itself? Both of you have, I wouldn't say complementary skills. There are very much analogous skills which you have.
Similar
skills that you have. So, कुछ conflict of interest नहीं आता ये चीज में?
Actually, इतना similarity is there in the sales bit, but in terms of our business, मतलब in Buildwi, I am more good with the designing and handling the customer bit. Once the project is onboarded, and he is good more with the vendors. तो हमारा वो differentiation वहाँ पे हो जाता है कि operations में मैं नहीं घुसने वाला हूँ. ये तेरा lookout है और ये design और ये customer से जो handle करना with our designers, उसमें मैं रहूँगा, उसमें तेरी मुझे कोई नीड नहीं. तो वो हमारा वहाँ पे सेग्रीगेटेड है. बट हमारा दोनों का जहाँ सिमिलर है वो है एक्विजिशन. मतलब सेल्स जो करना है, पिच करके जो कस्टमर को ऑनबोर्ड करना है, वो हम दोनों साथ में ही करते हैं. तो वो स्ट्रेंथ भी वहाँ है हमारी दोनों की. सो इट्स दैट.
सो आर देयर एनी सेल्स टेक्निक्स और टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स व्हिच यू कैन टेल अस?
See, when we are meeting the customer for the first time, there are a lot of details, lot of small things which lead on to that sale. ठीक है. So it starts right from you can say, are you on time for the first meeting? ठीक है. What we do is, or what I follow is always reach half an hour or 1 hour earlier for the meeting. Time पे if you're on time, now the customer gives you a tick mark कि okay, he's on time. And अगर customer भी late हुआ, still you have to be on time. So it gives you additional points कि okay, I have made him wait. थोड़ा सा guilt होता है customer कि तो वो conversation और better होता है. So first thing is be on time. Don't get late for any meeting. See, if for 3 or 4 meetings में in 3 meetings you are bang on time or before time, and in 1 meeting चलो कभी हो गया तो वो understandable कि benefit of doubt दे देता है customer कि okay हो जाता है, but ये हमेशा time पे आता है. ठीक है. बट अब आप परपेचुअली लेट हो गए हर मीटिंग में, तो आपका इंप्रेशन ऑलरेडी जो है वो डाउन हो जाने वाला है. तो फर्स्ट थिंग इज दिस. सेकेंडली इज योर अटायर, द वे दैट यू आर ड्रेस्ड. यू हैव टू कीप गुड वॉच ऑन दैट बिकॉज यू कैन नॉट बी ड्रेस्ड कैजुअली. यू कैन नॉट हैव दैट कैजुअल अप्रोच बिकॉज यू आर बीइंग जज्ड एवरी सेकेंड ऑफ योर प्रेजेंस विद द मीटिंग इन द मीटिंग. करेक्ट. So second is be well dressed, have a good attire. Formal, informal, see, अभी वो तो technical, I mean integrity है, but be well dressed. So that is the second thing. Focus little bit on accessorization, जैसे कि you can say अभी जैसे brown watch है, brown shoes है, मतलब थोड़ा एक अपना personality you have to develop your personality.
Could you just show yourself? I just want you to show your t-shirt to everybody.
So I'm
just focus on him and just show that thing. He has printed his own t-shirt as well. So एक बार वो पूरा दिखा सकते हो तो that would be much better. पीछे का साइड भी देखना है. हाँ.
क्या करवा रहा है यार?
इतना फोकस में नहीं. नॉर्मल दिखा दे, कैंडिड रख. और एक बार ऐसा घूम. ठीक है.
Left profile.
Yeah, I'll continue my question afterwards. Please continue the list. It's time, attire, accessory.
हाँ, accessorization मतलब you don't have to go overboard. मतलब थोड़ा simple चीज़ है, जैसे like how you maybe own a kada in your hand. ठीक है. वो एक थोड़ा सा एक effort देखा था क्योंकि you made some effort. आपने कुछ coordinate कर लिया तो उससे थोड़ा effort दिखाई देता है. वो है. Then थोड़ा एक argumentative point है, but it might sound funny also, but if you're good looking, it is an added advantage.
Okay.
थोड़ा मतलब ये point है, but
it's fair enough. It's a fair most of the females are in sales. It's not a statement, but maybe something like majorly females have a good sales record.
I would say 50-50 है, वो it depends on your personality and कैसे आप
Convince
कैरी
करते
करते
हो.
हो, कन्विंस करते हो. So I think 50-50 है, but yeah. So
But hire करना होगा तो priority wise, if at all the balance is equal on both the side, and if this is a female and this is a male, so the priority will always go towards the female one, because she brings in the glamour and she brings in the attire and good looking and everything, right?
No, we don't endorse that at all. I mean,
Okay.
we go for the person.
Okay.
ठीक है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि कोई फीमेल को ही हम लेंगे फॉर सेल्स है ना. I don't personally I don't believe in that. As a person, if someone knows a lot about their subject, I think I would go with that person. But I will also get all the other points that I mentioned also, whether the person is on time, how well the person is dressed. You know, these are all points that add up. So that is what I believe in. So I think I was at accessorization.
उसके बाद ये था good looking.
Good looking का point, I think, see that we cannot change. So
correct.
बनाया है वो बनाया है. But उसमें how well you carry yourself, उसमें भी काफी points होते हैं.
Correct.
ठीक है. This is about your attire and your being on time. Then I think it is also about language, how you're talking.
Okay.
अभी कितना भी हम deny कर लें, you must know how to speak English.
Correct.
ठीक है. आपको जज किया जाएगा, आपको अच्छा लगे या ना लगे, you will be judged. अगर आपको English नहीं आती है तो you have to learn English.
But don't you think there is that 10% crowd who, I would say, emphasize on having a local language more than English? कुछ लोग होते हैं ना यार, अंग्रेजी क्या बोल रहा है, हिंदी में बात कर.
हाँ, वो अश्नीर ग्रोवर टाइप लोग होते हैं. ठीक है. But the clients that we are servicing in the territory or the region, Bombay में, तो यहाँ पे it is more of the professional crowd who are maybe buying their first home, and they are in their mid-30s. They are all working for MNCs, these kind of clients. So they need people who they can interact. See, basically in our industry, in our business, that person has to deal with me for at least 3 months, 2 to 3 months. Correct? So if you are not likable and you are a little boring, या बोल लो कि आप ठीक से बात नहीं कर पाते हो, तो irritation होती है, या person is वो judge करता है, मतलब आपको judge किया जाएगा कि आप कैसे बात कर रहे हो, आप कैसे, आपका टेक्निकलिटी कितना स्ट्रांग है. हर एक चीज पे एक मार्क्स होते हैं कि इसमें इतना, इसमें इतना. वो प्रोज एंड कॉन्स वैसे ही कस्टमर देखता है. सो आई थिंक इंग्लिश इज अ मस्ट हैव. You need to know how if you are not good at it, you have to go and learn. Basics तो you have to know, because उसके अलावा I don't think, मतलब आजकल जो ट्रेंड चल रहा है उसके हिसाब से the customer will look at that point also.
Okay. So is there anything else apart from this? So time, attire, accessories, good looking, and language. Language, that's it.
Yeah. Communication has to be good. Apart from all this, these are points for any sale conversion. ठीक है. Apart from this, knowledge about your subject.
Okay.
The field that you're in. You need to have complete knowledge of each and everything that is going on in your field. जो आप प्रोडक्ट बेचने जा रहे हो या आप सर्विस बेचने जा रहे हो, अगर आप कहीं पे भी फंबल किए कि अगर फॉर एग्जांपल किसी ने पूछ लिया पेमेंट स्ट्रक्चर क्या है आपका, तो अगर मैं बोलूँगा सर वो ना सर थोड़ा वो आपको एडवांस दे दीजिए सर, ऐसे नहीं होता. यू हैव टू हैव अ स्ट्रक्चर. सर 5% बुकिंग अमाउंट, उसके बाद में वी विल टेक इन फेजेस वीक वाइज. यू हैव टू बी वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट ना, मतलब व्हेन यू आर स्पीकिंग वो कॉन्फिडेंस दिखना चाहिए, तभी एक बंदा आपके ऊपर पैसे लगाता है कि मतलब ओके इसके ऊपर बेट करने लायक है. So knowledge about your subject, about your company, all these things are like very important. And the first 4 parts, I mean also all the parts, we also give proper training to our team also. Time पे रहो, be well dressed, no chappals, ये वो, मतलब ये सारी चीजें ना, मतलब ये build करना बहुत important, basic है मतलब. Yes. And we keep on teaching them. We take them to pitches also sometimes कि आप आके देखो कि हम कैसे pitch कर रहे हैं. If someone is interested in the sales bit, if any designer, they can transition themselves into sales, because we are looking to build a sales force also now, as we are growing every day.
So you're hiring only from that particular industry, or you're hiring from any BCom graduate can also hire, can also apply to be a sales executive at Buildwi?
No, because the person has to know about the field, as I said.
Okay.
Because a person coming from a BCom field, he will not know even the basics of interior design. And since I have worked with Asian Paints in the sales department, there were a few people who they had tried to get from the paint division. ठीक है, किसी को कोई और waterproofing के division से लाके इसमें sales में डाल दिया. They tried it, but it did not work. So they had to be moved to different verticals. So now learning from the giants, अगर उन्होंने वो खर्चा करके उन्होंने वो try किया है और उनका नहीं चला है, तो it doesn't make any sense कि हम उसको try करें. So we will be only looking for people from our field.
But from your field, how many people want to get into sales? What percentage? I think it will be very small, right?
Very small, very small.
Then how do you?
I think maybe 5%. I think 4 to 5%.
So why will this 5% clientele, or I'm really sorry, I'm using the wrong word, not the clientele, the 5% crowd will choose Buildwi? Candidates choose Buildwi instead of Asian Paint, not Live Space, and choose Buildwi. They can always go for Live Space, right? Because maybe higher package as well, maybe higher remunerations, maybe better projects, or not better projects, but bigger projects, you can say. Maybe not that much of workload, but yes, lesser learning is there.
Yeah.
There is work pressure again, same thing. Targets, and you might join as something else, and you might do something else. So that is also there. So why will they choose you Buildwi and not Live Space?
See, the funda is again just like how we choose our customers. If we will put our positives in front, we will show them what the negatives are of working with them, as well as we'll put our negatives also. We'll be very honest. If a person wants to work with us, if they can match our vibe, our frequency, so they will come. They do come in any interview. Now fortunately we have reached a level where we don't have to really sell ourselves. Now we have reached that stage after some time now. That since our social media is slowly getting built, so people are seeing कि काम हो रहा है. So now we don't need to really sell ourselves. People are coming on their own to come and pitch, and everyone knows. Everyone has friends working with Live Space. तो वो लोग को उसके negatives already पता होते हो कि ऐसा है. So it's like that. I mean, it's their choice. अगर उनको if they want to grow in this way or that way, it is up to them. We leave it up to them.
But don't you think hiring a BCom graduate and training him into this field would be much easier than to wait for this 5% crowd to come to your interviews and get them hired? Or maybe they won't be even calibered for that thing, but they will, however, try to apply for those jobs. And
anyway, we do get applications from somebody who's doing sales in another, maybe pharma,
correct,
another field, maybe. But the kind of field that we are in, it's a very technical field. So usko to train that person, it will take maybe a year or maybe year and a half, depending on how the person is catching up. But usko train करके फिर उसको use करना for doing sales or any other thing, मतलब maybe sales only. वो थोड़ा it is more of a process because the person who has learned something for maybe 3 years, 5 years, and then is implementing. So it's better that we take from that crowd only.
What is an average retention of time for your employees?
You can say 1 to 1.5 years is average time, because nowadays everyone is jumping from here and there. यहाँ से वहाँ सब जब मार रहे. We also look at them also in that way only कि maybe 1 से 2 साल maximum 3 साल तक करेंगे. But we make sure that जितने भी टाइम वो हमारे साथ काम कर रहे हैं, जब तक वो लोग काम करेंगे, we will give them all the training that they need to even start their own, firm. Okay. We look at it like that. We don't want to hide anything from them. Like, ये मैं नहीं बताऊंगा, वो मैं नहीं बताऊंगा. It doesn't make sense. They are going to run your business. One day they will go and start their own business. It's normal now. It used to be earlier ऐसा होता था कि सब कुछ मत सिखाओ and all that. But we are totally open with it. It's okay. They will go. New person will come. But our systems will remain. So as we had discussed, systems. During our initial conversation, that system has to remain so strong that even if a new person is coming, the SOPs are already there. So that is how we look at the employees.
What is your say on startup culture nowadays? So 5 years down the line, startups were not that glamorized. Shark Tank nahi tha tabhi. What do you think has happened in such a way that startup is so glamorized nowadays that everybody wants to start a startup nowadays.
Shark Tank has had a huge impact, I think so. And I am a huge fan of Shark Tank. I watch each episode maybe twice, thrice because I am thrilled.
Favorite shark?
Favorite shark? Favorite shark would be Anupam Mittal.
Anupam Mittal. Straight to the face.
Straight to the face, and the kind of knowledge that he imparts. Modest bhi hai. So, I like Anupam Mittal. Piyush also. Piyush Bansal. So I'm a huge fan of Shark Tank, and मैं काफी depth में I'm a business person. Although I'm an architect and I come from the technical background, but since after my first year of working only, I knew कि मेरे को ये design और ये सब में नहीं, मुझे थोड़ा business end में जाना है, and that's what I took. वही मैंने Asian Paints में वही type का मैंने role लिया, and I got to learn a lot with Asian Paints also. Startup culture अभी काफी trend में आ चुका है, and even in this interior design also अभी pick up हो रहा है धीरे-धीरे. Although ये proper इसको business way में लेना अभी तक लोगों ने interior designers ने start नहीं किया है, because they feel that ये this is not a business, it is like a थोड़ा सा एक रहता है ना कि design का कीड़ा बोल लो या कि I'm a designer, I don't do business and all. But then I believe in practicality. अगर आप सिर्फ design करते रहोगे and if you're not getting enough compensation or remuneration for it, so it's not going to be practical, right? Either unless you have a lot of inherited wealth, then you can just relax and do maybe 2-3 projects in a year. So I look at it in that way. But startups are good. I think it is good for all of us. Shows like Shark Tank are also really boosting. But at the same time, I think flip side is that people are trying to start without any knowledge also. That also I've seen. कि बस cool लग रहा है या कुछ कि startup है and all. तो बिना knowledge के करोगे तो उसका कुछ use नहीं होने वाला. It's all going to go waste only. पहले what I believe in is कि पहले थोड़ा knowledge ले लो industry का, थोड़ा एक sense ले लो कि क्या चल रहा है. अपने skills को थोड़ा सा ये कर लो कि identify कर लो कि हाँ ओके मुझे ये जम रहा है, मुझे ये अच्छा लगता है. अगर आपने पहले थोड़ा जल्दी ही कर लिया 1-2 साल में, so good enough. अगर नहीं हुआ तो थोड़ा सा fail हो. I think it is important to fail also. थोड़ा fail भी होना चाहिए. जितना जल्दी अपन fail होंगे, I think so उतना जल्दी हम अपने जो weaknesses है उसको हटा के strengths को हम लोग आगे ला सकते हैं. So that is what I think.
What is the difference between a freelancing and startup?
Freelancing and startup. Freelancer is basically working either individually only, खुद से ही कर रहा है without any team, and थोड़ा सा उसमें projects कम होते हैं. I'm talking about my field. Projects थोड़े कम होते हैं, 1-2 projects करते हैं and take a sense कि okay, what I can do. It is a start to doing any business. Versus a person who's running a proper company will have a structured team.
Do you think there is overcrowding in this industry as well nowadays? Like, let's say digital marketing. Every college-going student was practicing digital marketing and they were calling themselves as a digital marketer and expert in digital marketing. Nowadays, that trend is, I'm observing this thing is happening in interior designing as well nowadays. The tools are so easy to obtain and to learn that, and YouTube is there. So you can learn anything from YouTube nowadays. Nowadays, what's happening is startups are getting glamorized a lot. People, if we talk 5 years down the line, startups were not that much glamorized. So do you think that it is a good thing? Firstly, question A is that is it a good thing that startups are getting glamorized? Question B is what is leading to this kind of a mindset that startups are a good thing to do? Maybe it is not a taboo thing because 10 years or 5 years down the line, it was not common to do a startup. Nowadays, अगर मैं मम्मी को घर पे जाके बता रहा हूँ कि मैं startup कर रहा हूँ, थोड़ा बहुत अंदाजा है. 5 years, 10 years down the line, अगर if anybody tells their parent कि I want to start something of my own, except the Ambanis and Birlas of the India, rest all the middle class parents will be like, "Hey, bhai, tu kya kar raha hai?"
So who don't have inherited wealth, who have always, their parents have always been in service like mine.
Correct.
They used to not endorse doing a business a lot.
Correct.
Right? Because security wise,
correct.
I think
बैरियर आता है.
हाँ बैरियर आता है, वो माइंडसेट है कि जॉब इज मोर स्टेबल. करेक्ट. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज वेदर इट्स अ गुड थिंग और नॉट. डेफिनेटली इट्स अ गुड थिंग, बिकॉज अभी वो कल्चर इवॉल्व हो रहा है धीरे धीरे, वेयर बिजनेसेस आर आल्सो गिवन इक्वल अमाउंट ऑफ वेटेज. फ्लिप साइड ये है कि थोड़ा ग्लैमराइज में लाइक पीपल आर एंटरिंग इनटू इट विदाउट एनी नॉलेज. मतलब इतना कुछ नो हाउ नहीं है अबाउट द फील्ड, या तो वो थोड़ा सा उसमें टाइम वेस्ट हो सकता है, फेलियर्स हो सकते हैं. यू नो वी शुड जस्ट बी होपिंग कि लोग ज्यादा पैसे ना उड़ा दें. दैट इज द ओनली थिंग कि ओके इफ यू हैव एज बाय योर साइड, अगर आप जल्दी स्टार्ट कर रहे हो, focus on failing faster. There is a phenomenon, I mean there's a saying called FFFF. So it is called fail fast and fail forward.
Okay.
Okay. I believe in that even in my business also कि if you're trying a new strategy, try it immediately. Fail हो गया ठीक है, move forward. आगे बढ़ते रहो, जल्दी जल्दी फेल होते रहो ताकि आपको एक करेक्ट वो पाथ मिल जाए कि ओके ये नहीं चला, ओके नेक्स्ट ताकि एक वो सिनेरियो हो. बट वही है, इट्स अ गुड थिंग एज वेल एज अ बैड थिंग. इसमें दोनों है. इट इज लाइक अ कॉइन.
How much percentage has Shark Tank influenced the Indian audiences?
Shark Tank, I think, has influenced a lot. I think after Shark Tank only people have started knowing about profitability, EBITDA, and all these terms. And I am myself also a huge Shark Tank fan. I watch all the episodes of Shark Tank.
Who is your favorite shark?
Favorite shark would be, I think, Anupam Mittal and Anirudha.
Very straightforward.
Straightforward.
Ashneer.
I think the combination of Ashneer is that he's very straightforward and एकदम crass है, and Anupam Mittal is थोड़ा modest भी है. He has no knowledge about all the industries. So I like that combination.
If you want to pick any one shark, will it be Ashneer or Anupam?
For funding or for
anything. Let's say Buildwi में अभी फंड चाहिए, फंड करने, और सब लोग ऑल शार्क्स आ रहे हैं आपके पास, बट आपको एक ही को चूज करने का ऑप्शन है सिर्फ. अश्नीर बोल रहा है मैं आएगा तो अकेला आऊंगा, अनुपम मित्तल बोल रहे हैं मैं आऊंगा तो अकेले आऊंगा.
I think dream scenario. I think I would pick Anupam Mittal.
Okay, why not Ashneer bro?
Because Anupam, I like that modesty bit also. I don't like to be very rough with people also. थोड़ा सा वो रफनेस ज्यादा है, बट दैट इज मोर ऑनेस्ट. मतलब तो वो है, बट आई वुड लाइक टू गो फॉर अनुपम. आई थिंक सो ही इज मोर थोड़ा, मतलब ही हैज नॉलेज आल्सो.
नो दोगलापन.
हाँ, नो दोगलापन. एंड आल्सो आई हर्ड दैट ही हैज आल्सो tried interior design in his initial.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh. Initially, he has told in a few podcasts I've heard.
Okay.
That he has tried interior designing also, and he has failed in that also.
Oh.
So I think वो भी उसका.
I guess he has invested in 200 plus startups or something.
200
right?
plus startups, yeah.
That's a big number, right?
Yes.
I guess Kunal Shah के बाद वही होगा.
हाँ, next is Anupam Mittal. Yes.
Correct. All right. So anybody wants to start an interior designing agency in near future? Let's say a college going kid wants to start an interior designing agency in future. What advices would you give them? What precautionary advices as well as a good to go advices that you will give them?
Okay. So firstly, I think don't jump into it initially. पहले grind कर लो. At least 2 years दे दो कि आप सीख लो कि what you are good at and what you are not good at. That is the first thing. Job कर लो. Job is important. Just like how you should not get into MBA right after your graduation. It does not make sense. You have no idea about the market. You're just going and doing an MBA and then going for a package job. So you don't have any idea of the industry. So I think firstly एक job कर लो 2 years के लिए, सीख लो पहले कि कैसे होता है. Then if you're confident, then one should go for starting his or her own practice. So that is the first advice I would give. And secondly, अपना forte थोड़ा जान लो कि what is your forte. Is your forte into proper designing, and or is your forte into proper sales and marketing. जो आपको नहीं जम रहा है ना, उसमें unnecessarily घुस के कोई मतलब नहीं है. If you are a designer, then start a design firm. Don't just get into the glamour of okay मुझे sales करना है, numbers and all, you know, if you like all that, मतलब वो सब खाली glamorous लगता है, तो वो करके कोई मतलब नहीं, you will not succeed at it. So focus on your forte, मतलब अपने इस पे ध्यान दो, what your strengths are, and as I said, अगर complementary skills अगर किसी आपके friend के पास या किसी
get a co-founder.
हाँ, get a co-founder, and then start with the.
So can anybody start with a freelancing thing first and then move to an agency part, or they should directly get into the water and then start swimming?
I think freelancing would be better because then the pressure is less. You are handling 1 or 2 projects. उसी में you are learning everything. And about starting your own agency, by agency you mean a firm, right?
A firm, correct.
So वो तो it is like actually like as you said, it is swimming only. वो तो जब आप चालू करोगे तभी आपको पता लगेगा कि वो how it's going to pan out. But only thing is आपके पास अगर थोड़ा experience है पहले का, तो it's better for you can tackle those situations. But of course,
so if you would have to rate that, either go for starting a freelancing thing, a freelancing gig, or get into a Cat A firm, like let's say LiveSpace for that matter, and get experience and then start your something of your own. What will you rate? What should be the numerization? Criteria? Which thing should come first, and where should we go?
If you are more of a corporate guy, मतलब कि you want to start your own company like LiveSpace and
diplomatic answer मत दे यार, directly बता दे.
नहीं, see, अब
फ्रीलांसिंग पहले आएगा या फिर ये LiveSpace पहले आएगा, वो बता.
इट्स अ मिक्स. अभी जिसको जो करना है, अगर किसका एम है, अभी अपने खुद के गोल्स पे भी डिपेंड करता है. अगर मेरा गोल है कि मुझे like I had started with that only कि I want to earn money. ठीक है. Now we are all doing all this for money only. Either you're doing your job or you're doing your freelancing or you're learning LiveSpace. ठीक है. If your goal is to earn money, then find that path कि okay, अगर LiveSpace में if I join तो मुझे ये चीजें करनी है, अपने चॉइस के ऊपर है. सेकेंडली अगर डिजाइन फॉर्म स्टार्ट करना है तो फ्रीलांस करना बेटर है. because उससे then you don't have any pressure as such कि प्रोजेक्ट्स कन्वर्ट हो रहे नहीं हो रहे. यहाँ पे आप जाओगे तो you have this kind of scenario जहाँ पे प्रेशर बहुत है. तो बेसिकली प्रोज एंड कॉन्स चीज का एनालाइज कर लो कि ओके यहाँ पे ये चीज है, यहाँ पे ये चीज है. There was a point, I'll tell you, where I had to choose between joining a design firm and going for a company like Asian Paints. So after my first job, I wanted to switch to another company.
What was it? Which was your first job?
First job was it is an architectural firm where I had done my internship as well. So I have a long relationship with them. Still do. It is a big company. They are into architectural projects as well as interior projects. They do celebrity homes as well. But it is more of a design sort of a company.
Okay.
So from that, I did have a choice to either join Asian Paints or to join another similar company. But the role that I was getting at Asian Paints versus I would be doing at another similar company, they were different. So I did a pro and con sort of a thing where okay, I'm going to get to learn something new over here. Maybe I'll fail at it. Maximum क्या होगा, मैं fail हो जाऊँगा, दूसरा कुछ कर लूँगा. मतलब वो that confidence you should have कि okay, fail हो गया तो कोई बात नहीं, हम दूसरा कुछ कर लेंगे.
What was the pay scale difference between the two?
Pay scale difference was not much because at Asian Paints also I had joined as a entry level only. Slowly I rose to a level where I was earning within a span of 2 years. Since sales is a field where, as you know, there is no upper limit. So I was earning maybe 8 to 10x of what I was earning as my first job. I'm not putting any numbers here, but the first job का जो था and Asian Paints में in a span of 2 years, I was already at 8 to 10x of that pay. So sales में obviously growth is unlimited. If you are very good at what you're doing, तो उसमें sky is the limit in sales. Whereas in freelancing or joining a different company, वहाँ पे the pay will be obviously lesser.
So let's say I'm starting up a new firm now. Let's say I'm starting up an interior firm. What is the first step that I have to take? Secondly, what is the capital that is required? And thirdly, who should I hire first?
Okay. So first step is to majorly identify which kind of projects you want to do. Is it residential or is it commercial? So if you want to do residential projects, so you have to categorize yourself. Pehle. These are the kind of projects and what is the scale of the projects that I'm going to look at. Am I going to look at only high-end projects like luxury or maybe mid-segment, the lower segment? Whichever is your sweet spot, you have to identify that. वो एक बार कर लिया, then the first major challenge is to get your first project. Land कर लो कैसे भी करके. First initial few projects जो होते हैं ना, उसको crack करना बहुत important है, so that you have things to show to the new clients. Once you achieve that, first 3-4 projects or 5 projects, you automatically come in that headspace कि okay now, and people then automatically होता है. It is very automatic कि then the new customers also start taking you seriously because you've got 3-4 projects going on. तो खाली वो first initial grind है to start your own firm. And I think having a partner is an advantage because अकेले आप I think so इस field में नहीं कर पाओगे जितना. एक partner होना जरूरी है where both of you all can और एक team strength दिखाना भी जरूरी है because it's a high ticket value का item.
So what is the initial investment that we are looking at?
We have not, to be honest, we have not put any investment because this business is such that you have to work with clients' money. That is the best part. So it is like a consultancy that you're doing, correct? You don't need an initial investment apart from the office space that you have to take. And that also is not required initially because you've got sites. Most of your work is going to happen on sites only. Even the new customers don't really want to see your office. We have an office space, but that is majorly for the designer and people to come in and work. We don't get our clients to the office generally because all our material selections happen outside. Our work happens on site. So initial investment in this business is very less as compared to any other business, right? Because it is majorly you are doing a service. So we have actually, technically, we might have put very less money in this, like I think 30,000-40,000 for making the website and certain things, certain basics. But apart from that, I don't think we have put in any money. After that, we have just worked on accruals, like whatever money is coming in, we are putting in for marketing, for all the other things that are needed. So it is that kind of.
Who will be your first hire? Will it be a designer? Or will it be somebody from the sales team or will it be somebody from the execution team?
Initially, it has to be a designer only.
Okay.
So, as I said...
and what will be the average salary of that designer?
It depends on your experience. Agar 2 years hua hai, and it depends on your previous pay also. So right now, I think the average salary is anywhere between 20 to 25,000 for a person who is experienced for about 2 years.
Okay.
2 years. Initial starting salary is about 15 to 20,000 a month. That is what is going on right now.
And got it. Is there anybody who comes in without any formal education, just wants to get into this thing and want to learn on job?
Yeah, there are many people. Actually, interior design is a hobby for many people. Even people who have worked, we also get, people have applied who are like in their mid-30s or late 30s who always had this passion of interior designing, but they would not pursue it because of certain reasons, whatever family reasons or for their job. So it is a field where people are passionate about it. So we do get inquiries, but it's still difficult to entertain them because they are majorly looking at coming in and immediately starting their own business. So they just want to come and learn. So slightly difficult to take them on board.
Okay, got it. And what is the dark side of this industry? Is there any dark side of this industry? Vendor payments कोई लेके भाग जाता है. Clients are not willing to pay. What is the bad debt ratio? Might be a bad debt ratio, right?
Yeah, 100%.
How do you recover that money or how do you handle that situation?
So in this industry, being clear on your terms is very important. We don't onboard any client our payment terms are very clear. This is the payment term. You have to pay this much by this time. तो वो एक clarity उसमें रखना is very important. Your terms and conditions sheet has to be very clear. Dark side बहुत है. There have been suicides also. There have been a lot of because of payments not being done. It's a big problem in this industry because the work is happening on the site and if the payment has not been taken by the company, तो वो काम भी हो गया. अब क्या करेंगे ना, मतलब या तो आप लेके
जाओ. Is it post work or pre work? The payments are pre work or post work?
Ideally, it should happen along with the work. मतलब as the work is progressing, what we follow is week wise payments. If it is a 12-week job, we take payments every 3 weeks, 3rd week, 6th week, 9th week, और हम काम भी उतना ही करते हैं जितना.
तो first to third week का काम हो गया, उसके बाद पेमेंट हो रहा है.
Yes.
तो अगर let's say the client says no, I won't pay you for that week, then what happens?
Then we stop the work on site.
But then this 3 weeks का work is done. Then how do you pay the vendor?
We already have the 3 weeks का advance.
अच्छा, advance money is there. Okay.
So basically you take week wise. See, to be honest, we have never faced any such client. Touch wood. We had to really go after them because we remove these clients from the start only. कि हमको करना ही नहीं, because अगर वो हमको red flag मिल गया कि पैसे अटकने वाले, तो हम वो लेते ही नहीं client. So that is the first step कि आप you should be initially the clients will choose you, but you will reach a stage where you can also choose in due course of time. Initial 4-5 customers शायद आपके ऐसे होंगे जो शायद मतलब आपको लेना ही पड़ेगा प्रोजेक्ट, बट उसके बाद आप एक स्टेज पे पहुंच जाओगे जब नहीं लेना है प्रोजेक्ट, एंड यू शुड हैव द गट्स टू से कि ओके नहीं लेना है, आई विल बी फ्री फॉर सम टाइम, नहीं है प्रोजेक्ट तो कोई बात नहीं, बट मैं नहीं लूँगा. सो वो है. बैड डेट्स बहुत है इसमें बिकॉज एंड व्हाट आई हैव ऑब्जर्व्ड इज हायर द टिकट वैल्यू, मतलब हायर द टिकट साइज. For example, if a project is 70 lakhs, 80 lakhs, we have worked on projects worth 1 crore also. उसमें पैसे अटकने का चांस बहुत हायर होता है because the work is also in that scale, and उसमें अगर आपके payments कहीं अटक गए तो you are in a big mess.
So how do you manage that?
So firstly, as I said, we keep our terms very clear that ये है payment terms. अगर आपने अपना timely payment नहीं किया तो we will have to stop
the work.
ठीक है, that is one thing. And हम मतलब हमारे साथ हुआ नहीं है thankfully ऐसा कुछ.
What is the gross margin in your industry? Average
gross margin would be about 20 to 25%.
25%.
That is gross. But
Okay.
after you cut down all your
Net
would be I think 10%. 7% to 10%.
And what will be the gross margin of Livspace or Asian Paints?
They are in a loss. They are spending heavily on marketing. They are in a huge loss currently because.
But if we talk about individual project basis, will it be on loss? No, I don't think so. That will be on loss. They are spending on marketing, right? The marketing as a whole company, they are doing as a whole company. They are not doing marketing as an individual projects. So let's consider one individual project.
For project wise.
So what will the GM?
Project wise, they might be in profits.
So any idea how much? Any particular?
Similar only.
Similar. That is the industry standard.
Industry standard. वो मतलब margin उतना ही है. So basically they have certain manufacturing units basically which they have invested on. They are majorly into modular furniture. तो उसमें margins higher है.
What is this modular furniture?
Like anything that can be made in a factory. Okay. So they are looking at mass scaling. Okay, and we are also looking at mass scaling only, but in a different way. They are looking at standardization of designs, which is not possible because if I ask you to choose from 10 designs. And versus if Buildwi is coming in and saying you do whatever you want, we will customize the design for you. So the person will go for customize because if I'm spending so much, I cannot just choose from 10 designs. No? So but what they are looking at is also right. They want to do it in pan India. No? तो उसमें वो जो designs के थोड़े options है वो लोग वो ला रहे हैं. They are trying to get that. So in that way, तो उनके I think gross उनका थोड़ा ज़्यादा होगा if I'm not wrong.
एक साथ सब कुछ लेके आते हैं.
They are trying to get everything. Bulk discount मिलता है. Basically, they are trying to get everything related to interiors under one roof. So Asian Paints is majorly acquiring a lot of companies. Like they have acquired a lot of tile companies, sanitary fixtures के companies they have acquired. They have acquired White Teak for lights, fabric companies they've acquired. They are into major acquisition right now. If you read about it, and what they are trying is कि सब कुछ एक umbrella के अंदर लेके आओ. For interior design, come to Asian Paints. That is what they are looking at.
There is this usual trend that all these companies are usually in loss. मतलब let's say live space, even Asian Paints का I guess beautiful homes है.
Beautiful homes sector,
the interior designing vertical. Usually ये loss making ही जा रहे हैं. Why is that? Is it because of the marketing?
It is majorly because of marketing only.
But that is required, right, for this company to survive.
So see, I think this is the trend. I think for major all the startups, not only in this space, everyone, all the companies are in loss only because of marketing. Because they're trying to, if you take Zomato or maybe any company, they are in major losses because of the marketing spend that they're doing.
They did profit this year.
They did profit this year, but after I think about 10 years.
Yeah.
So they are what they are trying to say is that after some time we will come in profit. It is a projected profit. So let's see. I mean, once they have established their name, it will depend on how they're delivering also. Because right now their name in the market is quite bad. But they have, I mean, Asian Paints has a very big name, legacy attached to it, and Live Space has all the glamour of their experience centers and all of that. So new clients do come in, but if you read their reviews and everything, I think it is quite. It is not positive to read.
All right, got it. Any message that you would like to give our young audience who are just getting into an interior or architecture school, let's say? Any message that you want to give?
I think I'm being repetitive, but my message is that don't be scared to fail. First of all, try things, try new things, understand yourself, get a understanding of what you are as a person. For example, I'm just giving an example that if I am good at sales, does not mean that everyone should be good at sales. That is not the only thing that is there in a business. Correct? But वो थोड़ा glamorous हो गया अभी Shark Tank के बाद की sales and that marketing, because हर किसी का personality is not for sales. Correct? मतलब सेल्स में थोड़ा कभी बहुत झूठ बोलना पड़ता है, थोड़ा यू हैव टू बी थोड़ा सा एग्जैजरेट करना पड़ता है. तो वो पर्सनालिटी सबका नहीं होता है. तो जस्ट बिकॉज इट इज ग्लैमरस डोंट गेट इनटू इट. सो आई थिंक दैट वुड बी वन एडवाइस. सेकेंडली इज दैट विदाउट हार्ड वर्क नथिंग इज गोइंग टू हैपन. ठीक है? इफ यू डोंट वर्क हार्ड नथिंग इज गोइंग टू कम टू योर प्लेट. आपको मार्केट में उतरना पड़ेगा, आपको ग्राइंड तो करना पड़ेगा. उसके बगैर लक से आपका कुछ नहीं होने वाला. लक इज, आई थिंक इट इज 60 to 70% ऑफ योर हार्ड वर्क एंड 30% इज योर लक फैक्टर. सो हार्ड वर्क के बिना कुछ नहीं होने वाला. आपको करना पड़ेगा, ग्राइंड से गुजरना पड़ेगा आपको. एंड आई थिंक दिस वुड बी माई एडवाइस. एंड thirdly, last is कि you have to do a lot of जुगाड़. You have to be a jugadu person to achieve anything. So when I had got into Asian Paints, I had done only 10 to 11 months of being on an off-roll position. Okay, and I had performed so well that I had asked for a promotion, that I want to get on-roll. And their general norms say that you cannot come on-roll. Minimum, there were people in the team who were like 3 to 4 years doing off-roll and waiting to come on roll. Correct? But I had made my mark in such a way that I asked for a promotion, they denied. I applied in these companies, Live Space, Design Cafe. They had to give me the promotion because they didn't want that 11 months of hard work and training that they have given me, and I am performing equal to the on-roll employees. So better to retain him and let him come on board. They made certain exceptions because as you know, it's a big company, so they have pan-India rules. So to break those rules and it's a big thing. So they had to get me in. So if you do jugaad, if you prove your worth, and if you are the best at what you do, you have to basically do the best. You have to be the best version. You should be irreplaceable. That if you are not there in this, it's going to be tough for you. So you have to make that kind of a mark. I think that is what people should focus on. Whatever you're doing, do the best. There's a funny thing. I mean, my first job where I was doing, my boss he used to say that अगर आपको ऑफिस में किसी ने पोछा भी लगाने बोल दिया ना, तो आप मेक श्योर करो कि वो वर्ल्ड का बेस्ट पोछा हो.
करेक्ट.
अगर आपको चाय बनाने बोल दिया किसी ने, तो आप मेक श्योर करो कि आप वर्ल्ड की बेस्ट चाय बना रहे. So that is if that is the mentality you carry, then you will, I think, achieve.
Got it. So we actually wanted to talk about many other things like your previous job, your education. Many things are pending, but time is not permitting us that much. So I guess we will having a part 2 of this, and we'll be having a brief oversight about Asian Paints as a whole, a brief oversight about your education in your college, in your design college and everything. So I think thank you so much, Siddharth, for coming though. And it was a very insightful thing that you gave me. बातें खत्म नहीं हो रही थी हमारी. Exactly. we had to end somewhere, so this is where we will be ending in. And really thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon in our part 2 of Build with Focus podcast, powered by Autofocus.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much guys.
Sure. Bye.